NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte said earlier this year that we are not at war, but we are certainly not at peace either. And we've seen that if we look just over the last 2 years since this government took office, there have been many reports of multiple instances of foreign espionage and interference. Earlier this year, it was reported that Chinese spies used LinkedIn and other recruitment platforms to target UK officials and military staff. A tracker was successfully placed on the Prime Minister's car and has been mentioned by my honourable friends, the members for Epsom and Newell and West Dorset. Attacks on the Prime Minister's homes and car, and people with links to a sitting MP were arrested on suspicion of assisting a foreign intelligence agency. So it is no surprise when the government says national security is its first responsibility, and they are right to do so. Now, I'm lucky enough to be a member of the Armed Forces Parliamentary Scheme this year. I've been fortunate enough to meet some of the remarkable people serving in our military, from the most junior to the most senior. And the key message I'm taking from these interactions is that we, as a society, are not scared enough, and we are certainly not prepared enough. When the thoughts of many, when talking about preparation, will instantly go to physical safety and defence spending, and I understand why, there needs to be a whole-of-society approach that goes beyond our armed forces and to national security, resilience and civic preparedness, to food security, economic security, cyber security, energy security and so on. It's a point that's already been raised by others, but I'd be grateful if the Minister, when she makes her remarks shortly, I'd be grateful if she could update the House on the government's plans to increase the awareness of the British people, including my own Hazel Grove constituents, on the role we must all take to keep our country safe and prepare should the worst happen. Looking at the estimates, and with one specific question for the Minister, as I understand it, the security spending under the Keeping the Country Safe subheader is rising largely because the Integrated Security Fund has been moved across to the Cabinet Office, not because ministers have found new money to meet new dangers. So could the Minister tell the House how much of this uplift is new investment in our resilience, and what changes are happening to this spending as it comes under the Cabinet Office? We cannot have national resilience if the public can no longer trust the integrity of our democracy. The National Cyber Security Centre dealt with more than 200 attacks on our critical national infrastructure in the last year alone, and around 3/4 were traced to the hostile states, primarily China, Russia and Iran. These reach into hospitals, energy supply and the public services many across the country depend on. That's why the Liberal Democrats tabled an amendment to the Cyber Security and Resilience Bill, which would require the government to publish a digital sovereignty strategy. Had it been put in place, this would clearly set out how the government will assess, manage and mitigate risks to the security and resilience of critical network and information systems arising from foreign interference and reliance on foreign technology. Additionally, our strategy would place focus on strengthening government procurement practices, which would ensure that the government laid out how it intends to reduce strategic dependencies on foreign-owned service providers and commit to prioritise domestic tech. We would ensure that critical national functions are powered by technology that only the UK government could, or UK companies could control. Perhaps the sharpest threat to our democracy is the money flowing into it from outside. British politics is being targeted by powerful interests beyond our shores who would happily see our democracy weakened, and the loopholes that let them in remain far too open. Opaque, foreign and dark money can still find its way into our political parties, our campaigns and our online conversations, and the government has not yet done enough to combat this money entering our democracy. The government commissioned the Rycroft Review into political finance and, to date, has committed to just 2 of its 17 recommendations. On these benches, we would ask that the Minister give serious consideration to the other 15 and commit to all of them in full very soon. The election strategy paper published last summer and the Representation of the People Bill are both welcome steps, but there is an Elon Musk-shaped hole running right through the middle of them. They contain nothing to stop social media platforms paying elected representatives to post increasingly divisive and incendiary content, and nothing to shut the back door through which foreign money reaches our politics. Liberal Democrats have tabled amendments to the Representation of the People Bill to fix exactly that. Our amendments would ban payments to MPs by X and other platforms, bar people who have served foreign administrations from donating to political parties, campaign groups and think tanks, and we would implement the Rycroft Review's recommendations to ban foreign-funded online political ads altogether. Given the scale of potential foreign interference, we believe the government should go one step further and launch an investigation into US interference in our democracy, including financial support by this White House for those in the UK who, and I quote, share their values. I urge the Minister to consider further how we can best ensure that the Department's budget is used effectively to limit the reach of foreign interference in our political system, because our democratic security is our national security. Thank you.